Man, what a fantastic day. I'm in such a good mood right now. I finally finished all my playtesting and now get to just sit down, enjoy, and actually play some Season 4. I'm so glad I took time off to really enjoy it this time around. It's been so much fun so far. And today it gets even better because now I get to explore some Kunimitsu. And you guys know I'm excited about this. I'm a fan of this character. I used to play her in the past and I really wanted her in this game. Messing around with her today, she still feels like the same old Kunimitsu in a lot of ways, a lot of the same moves, with a lot of like crazy added flavor, of course, with these new dagger moves and quarter circles. But I guess let's start with the visuals. I mean, Tekken 7 is a fantastic looking game. I think that's one of the main reasons it survived for this long. And at least in terms of like attack animations, the people who make these characters move on screen have been killing it since day one. And I think with Zafina they kind of hit the next level, but with Kunimitsu they hit the next level again. And this is pretty much the most cinematic looking Tekken character that I've ever seen. And just look at some of these combos. They have a crazy sort of cinematic and fun and exciting vibe to them. They're interesting and fun to look at. They're interesting and feel good to do. So that part of it is absolutely amazing. They've knocked that out of the park, and it's impressive that they've done that on a legacy character that already had, you know, a lot of the move list established. So it made me think about like Tekken 8 or whatever, you know, the next game when they give this treatment to like every character. It's probably going to be the coolest looking 3D game of all time. We don't want to end up in like Marvel 3 territory where everything is a crazy light show and you can't even see the characters, but you know, for now this looks pretty amazing. As for the actual character model, you know, the character herself, something weird happened to me yesterday. I was playing online with Miguel against the Kunimitsu, and with some of these like intro animations and win animations when she's just walking around and talking, I got a weird vibe that I wasn't looking at a young woman but like an 8-year-old boy. There's something about those like thin little arms and the voice. It kind of felt like I was bullying the weird anime kid at school who likes to do Sonic cosplay on the weekends. And it made me cringe a little bit, which is weird because I've played like Guilty Gear and you know, Darkstalkers where they have actual like small kid characters, but those are so cartoonish and out there that didn't give me that vibe. But with this character, it felt like a small child, which was a little bit strange for me. You know, when I play Elisa, I like to put her in the bikini some of the time because that's fun. You know, it's a bit cheeky. It's a show of attitude and confidence before the round starts. I probably won't ever be doing that if I play Kunimitsu because, I don't know, it just feels a little bit creepy to me. But, you know, if you're super about this new, younger version of Kunimitsu, you know, you do your thing. It's just something that didn't click with me personally. I'm a big fan of the mother, and so for the most part, if I use this character, this is the costume I'm going to be going with. Because I really liked her. And it's great that they included it, because if you liked the old look, the Tekken Tag 2 look of Kunimitsu, it's an option you have. And now let's talk about moves. I mean, the big question people have on their minds when a new character comes out is it going to be good? And the answer to that is definitely yes. And I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. We know at this point that Namco really like to release their DLC characters strong. You know, is she too good? Is she going to be overpowered or whatever? I think it's a little bit too early to talk about, but even if it is true, I kind of burned out complaining about that kind of thing with the whole year of like Leroy and fucking Rum and whatever. So I'm not going to worry about it. It's just, you know, the way this game works now. And I'm going to like talk with my friends and think about it, and then the community will decide for itself whether or not they like where Kuni's at, or whether or not they would like her to be a little bit weaker in the future. Who knows? But for now, definitely rest assured that it's a pretty good character. And I think a lot of that has to do with this stance. I think this stance is very powerful, you know, set stance. And I think this set too is honestly a candidate for like best mid in the game right now. This is a fantastic move. The stance itself is very fast, and this mid comes out at 12 frames, so extremely quick, pretty much as fast as mids get. And then it's a counter hit launcher that is safe on block, and that's really the risk-reward ratio you want on great moves in Tekken these days. You want to be able to do, you know, repeatable moves with low risk, and then whenever you do connect with the counter hit and you get the opportunity, then you want to run away with as much damage as possible, and then have sticky Oki at the end. And even when you do launch with a character, you know, the damage is very, very good. This is definitely a combo specialist kind of a character. It's interesting because Namco said, you know, they wanted to decrease combo damage. in this season, and that's why, like you saw right there, they reduced the scaling of the final wall hits from 60 to 50%. They nerfed combo damage on a couple of characters like Zafina and Shaheen. But then, you look at character or combo specialists like Lars and Katarina, and they still do as high damage or higher than they did before. And then they introduced Kuni, who's another very Julia-esque combo specialist with extreme wall carry and really high damage and combo flexibility. So it's interesting, they clearly want some characters to still be very good at this, and Kunimitsu is definitely one of them. And it's not like she lacks opportunity to create those launches either. I talked about this counter hit. You can mix it with a low counter hit, which is also unseeable at 18 frames to impact. Really nice long sticky animation on this. It is very punishable though, so that's something to be aware of, but you can't react to it at least, so it is true mix-up potential here. But then for more standard launchers, your down 4-2 for a whiff punisher is amazing, great range, and then you also have extreme range on your hop kick. Look at that, this is like one of the best hop kicks in the game. It's absolutely great. You can use it for a combo filler as well. So she's got good launchers, good counter hits, and good combos, and the movement is good. I mean, her backdash is great. So it's a very flexible character. I think you might play her kind of Elisa-esque, where you're out here and moving, maybe throwing the dagger, and then trying to hunt them by coming in with set stuff. But it's not like you're bad up close. Your jab strings are kind of crazy good. This 1-1-1 is -11, and the 1-1-2, for example, both are mid. But the 1-1-2 is -9, so the opponent has to try and distinguish between these two to know when they're able to punish. It's going to be very difficult to like react and know when you get to punish her, and when she is she's usually -10 or -11. So I think that's actually going to bring some of those characters who have good 11 frame punishers kind of rare. They might have a slightly better matchup against her. One really interesting one is the dagger throw. This is -11 with the same teleport that they force Noctis to do. I love the fact that they actually decided to make this punishable. I think it's the most sober balancing decision they made for the whole character. Noctis doesn't have that, but this projectile is different. It's faster. So if you're playing Leo, for example, and you have that great 11 frame 2-2, definitely stick it every time you see this dagger throw. It's going to be important to make her pay for it. So there you go. And I mean, good standard mid pokes. The down forward one is great still. Just a lot of great moves. And for punishment, she used to have the 1-1, which I thought was more than enough. Plus 619 damage, but they gave her even more with the 1-2-2. 26. Very Noctis-esque. She reminds you of Noctis in many ways. I mean, look at this thing. Remind you of anything? She's very similar, but she's kind of faster, and if I'm going to be brutally honest, she's probably quite a bit stronger as well. She doesn't have the super crazy mid-range stuff that Noctis has with, the Aura and the 1+2 and that kind of thing. But when she's a little bit further out, she's better, and when she's very close, she's definitely better than Noctis. Her lows are better, her mids are better, her jabs are better. And her full crouch mix-up. This is important. So if you're playing against Kuni right now, she really likes to do a lot of these big lows. I think that's a part of her playstyle that will become less prevalent as the weeks go on and people become more used to seeing and actually blocking these lows. Yeah, you have to be aware of them, and you have to block them, and you have to punish her. This thing, for example, she can cancel it, so be aware of that. And this thing is, the full crouch mix-up, this thing, and then you have to do a quick crouch cancel into the 4-4-2. That's my big tip. Typically when you do this kind of thing, like Miguel, for example, full crouch down forward 4 into 4-4-2-1, the forward motion, the forward dash actually cancels crouch for you, but I find that in this case, it's actually easier and more consistent if you do the crouch cancel and then the 4-4-2. So, by tapping up quickly and then doing your 4-4-2 to make that land consistently, 39 damage, big threat. And then you have other great, mids from full crouch to mix that with, and even a nice 15 frame launcher for your balls to the wall spin when you want to go for the big launch. So great stuff. At the wall, you're super strong as well. The amazing move, the set 2, it's even a wall splat move, which is great. And I mean, I haven't even talked about the other stances. One thing that I really like that they did is, the counter hit property on this is her Katon, which is the 1+2. probably the coolest stance, if not as, you know, maybe not the best, but I think it's the coolest one. I love some of these options, you know, they just look amazing. But she has a sort of Shaheen-esque counter hit property on the one right here, which I think is great. So, you know, you go into this stance after a string, you make the opponent swing at you, and then you get this counter hit, and then you get enough advantage that you can get some guaranteed damage. You can do the 2-2 for a nice 42. You can do the 1-2-2 for 42, but you can also just do the 4-2 right here for 46. This is another quick punisher that they gave her. I think it's her best option for 12 right now, 30 damage, +6 in back turn. And in back turn, it's another stance that you have that's really good, definitely improved over previous games. You have like powerful launchers here. The lows are really good. I mean, this is an old move that she had, but it's unseeable. 20 damage low. She has the down 2 as well with counter hit properties, really fast as well. A lot of unreactable, mixy stuff. So, yeah, I don't see a lot of weaknesses with the character right now. It's going to be difficult to understand where to sort of what to focus on when you want to play against her. It's something that I'm going to be exploring a lot today, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, you know, when you find a character that you really want to play, when it clicks with you and gives you that like interesting feeling when you're intrigued. I have it every single time I punish something with 1-2 with Gigas, or I counter hit with Miguel's back 1, or I cancel into a DP with Eliza. Kunimitsu, as cool as she is and as happy as I am to have her, she doesn't really give me that warm fuzzy feeling where I want to be a Kunimitsu player. So I might not actually play this character all that much at all. I think most of my exploration here is going to be focused on learning how to deal with her, at least for now, and then we'll see what happens later. But yeah, there you go, my initial impressions of this character. I know I'm a little bit late. There are probably people who are already great at playing this character and have gotten very far with her, but I wanted to look at legacy characters first and just do it, you know, my own way and at my own pace. So I know all of this was like old news, but you know, this was my first time actually looking at and trying the character, so I wanted to share that experience with you guys. Let me know what you think about Kuni. I hope you're enjoying her and Season 4 in general. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys again very soon.